$1,000 per month in residual recurring income. But what I love most about this gentleman is he's the definition of integrity and character. He's one of the only people that's ever been and done every single thing he ever committed to me that he would be or do. So please give me some hearts, give me some fire, give me some 4 5s in the chat. Help me welcome to the line the GOAT, the greatest of all time, also known as the People's Champ, Mr. Samuel Bean. Go Pack, go!
What's going on? Yes. I ain't flexing on y'all right now. It's just cold in Houston. It's 20 degrees, man. Look. The fireplace is in the inside of the house, man. I'm over here in the office on the West Wing. So I just want y'all to know, man, it's a great week. If you're a Packers fan, it is. If you're a Cowboy fan, better luck next year, you know. So but I digress. For those of you who are, again, first timers, guys, want to welcome you guys to the Millionaire Mindset Call. This is what we do, again, every Monday without fail. We are here to make sure we provide you guys with some really good information so you can go out there and get your financial goals and dreams accomplished. We want to equip you guys and put you in a position where you can go out there and rock and roll and never have to look back. So with that being said, again, I appreciate Carly Gwynn out of Orlando, Florida, for hosting this evening, as she always does. I really appreciate her serving the platform. Also, definitely want to say we appreciate each and every last one of our leaders for the service that they provide throughout the week. Not only does Carly do presentations during the week, Mrs. Lashanique Dalcour does as well as Mrs. Laura Johnson. And on Saturdays, we have our Crash Camp, Grant Cardone program, which is something that I strongly suggest you guys, attend. We have a free training that for those of you who are coming in on Facebook and for those of you who are members, obviously you get all the perks and benefits. You get everything from access to the modules, the live rally calls during the week, as well as you get a chance to interact and role play with us, live on Saturday where everybody can see and learn. So again, happy to be here with you guys. Again, it's Monday, and kind of give you guys a heads up. Like I said, we're the Foresight family, and that word foresight means vision. And one of those things we like to say is that we know that you're rich before you do. We just believe that everybody is born as a king or a queen. You just have to go through your rite of passage and deserve by evolving into that position where you can take your rightful throne and live the lifestyle that you were born to live. So with that being said, there's a couple of things you want to know about us. One, when you look at, Project Pride, producing residual income in a down economy, that's who we are. That's what we've always done. That's what we're always going to do. It's one of those things where when you have your mission, it's to empower people globally, economically, from our perspective. And that's not just by putting money in their pockets, but again, teaching them how to go out there and create money without having somebody to provide it for them. To Project 10,000, our next definite a purpose for our business is helping 10,000 families get to $5,000 a month in residual recurring income. And so when you add that type of money, $5,000 a month, $60,000 a year to a household, it does wonders, especially if you don't have to take a parent, or a spouse out of the household to make the extra money. Most people are already out there making, working 40, 50 hours a week, 60 hours a week in this economy. And the last thing you want somebody to do is have to go and put 25 to 30 hours a week part-time to make ends meet. Okay. And so we want to make sure that we teach you guys how to get your money to work harder and smarter for you, as opposed to you going out there and, taking what you have left of those 24 hours in a day and giving them to somebody who is not going to make you rich. Okay. And so with that being said, again, my personal definite purpose, just so you know, is, and last week I was so excited about it, I misquoted it, but it's to impact the lives of 100 million children, directly and indirectly, whether I'm here or not to see it, but by helping the people who I coach, mentor, and teach, then those kids get a chance to glean from them and then pass it on and continue to carry those lessons forward within their children, grandchildren, and generations to come. When I see people like, let's say, Dale Carnegie and Napoleon Hill and Zig Ziglar, Jim Rome, all the greats that have come before us. That's all they did. They went out there and taught the masses while they were here, created valuable content that's impacting people's lives, even after their demise. And so that's just something that I've always wanted to do, and it's something I've always tried to do. And I want to make sure that 100 million kids are the beneficiary of it. Okay. So get you guys caught up here, obviously. Definitely want to make sure that you guys, if you haven't got your cabin, on the cruise yet, Cruising with the Beans, July 25th. Carnival Cruise Lines. Carnival is always a party on Carnival. All right, great restaurants, great time, but the fellowship is worth something. I'm just telling you. Okay, it's when you're going out there and you're working hard, you want to go out there and let your hat on and play hard too. And so you never know what comes of those events. All right, but you definitely want to be there with us, and we want you there with us as well. Also, so go ahead and get that done. When it comes to let's see here, Eternal, which is a Fund Smart Chain. A lot of you guys have been hearing about what the conversion from Fund Smart Chain to the new DApp, which is Eternal. Okay, I know that we just started putting transitioning, our positions from Fund Smart Chain over to Eternal. I think 24 hours ago. My wife, Angel Trent, and Tara Thorne, they've been helping people, all the leaders, get positioned first. And that's a coin play, guys. One of those things where it's going to be some quick money, but it's going to be a way for you to go out there and take a small amount of money, cycle it through, make some money, but at the same time, create some coins that we hope that appreciate. And I always say hope, because I don't guarantee that anything will appreciate in this climate that we're in right now. But this program looks to have all of their ducks in a row. This is not one of those platforms that needs our money to build out their community, like some others. But I'm excited about that. So that if you haven't got with your leaders just yet, you haven't got positioned just yet, go ahead and do that. Make that a note. Let them know that you have an interest. And if you don't have a leader, your direct leaders or myself or Mrs. Bean, and we haven't talked to you yet, or you haven't reached out to us yet, just reach out to Mrs. Bean and we'll make sure she gets you appointed. Okay. So that's the next thing that we're doing right now. And we're not going to build a community like we did with the others, again, because this is not going to be a huge group build. It'll just be something that you'll add to your portfolio. Okay. When it comes to SCF, right now we're in that space, the same space right now. For those of you who haven't donated, if you choose to, you can. Again, this is not something that we're doing a super build on. I'm cashing my money out every day from a standpoint of cashing it out. And, since I have FUSD already in my accounts, whatever I cash out, I just buy it again and using the money that's already in there. Because again, it's a coin play. And so I want to make sure that upon return of any funds, when it comes to liquidating, and if this thing goes live at FSP and FTC and everything else, any of these other alphabets that they got in that portfolio starts to liquidate and pay out, I want to be right there at the front line to get money. So I'm not spending any of my money. The money that I spent initially, the $500 on multiple accounts, to do my donations, that's all I'm spending out of my pocket. Okay, everything else that's being liquidated is going back in, matching up with the FUSD that I already have. As it pertains to Lance Green, we had a notice on the back office. There was a personal, a temporary freeze on withdrawals. And for those of you, most of you know about it already, but early last year, they had to take Korea out of the system because they were doing what they call the money game, playing the money game, and working the system to maximize every dollar they can get out of the system. And so, and they were doing it illegally, basically, with computer programs and everything else. So they had to pull those, accounts out, segregate it, stop it, and then relaunch. But right now they have a similar situation. And so Jeremy is going to be following up with me with the next 24 to 48 hours, kind of giving me some heads up. He's been on the phone with the Anderson Salgado and the other members of corporate to get everything back online as soon as possible. But he did say that this is something that was going to be fixed. This is something that it's not like a traditional freeze where, that's the first sign of something shutting down. And so for me, I have shutdown trauma. So that's the first thing came to my mind, like, oh God, not another one. So, but again, as they continue to put out information, we'll definitely keep you guys in the know. And so we haven't put anything on the sites because they haven't given us anything as of yet. And so just if anybody reaches out to you, and I'm sure that they will, tell them two things. One, don't put any money in, okay? Because again, anytime they're updating the systems and making any wholesale changes, you don't want to get lost in the sauce. You don't want to put any money in anything. Okay, so hold what you got. Okay, two, just tell them to hold on as far as any questions that they may have, because those questions it's the same question that everybody has, and that's the same question we don't have an answer for until Jeremy gets back with us. So just make sure that we are on the same page with that. Make sure that they understand that as soon as we get the heads up on it, we'll be back in action. Speaking of that, we will not be presenting this week or any other week until they have actually updated us, let us know we have a green light to go, because we're not going to do a presentation for something that is not live, active, and validated at the time. And you know how we move. We're not going to do that. What everybody else does. Don't worry about it. They'll fix it. No, we don't play like that. Okay, so I just want to kind of give you guys a heads up. It's kind of like the Cowboys talking about they're going to the Super Bowl and have made it past the first round yet. We just don't. We just take things one game at a time. I mean, one challenge at a time. So, so hey, y'all have seen the Facebook pages. Y'all should knew this is coming. I got probably one more in me at some point in time. I just need to open it. But right now, one of the things I would strongly suggest you guys do is work on two things. One, I'm going to be doing a training. I was going to do it today, but it was so much more that I was able to untap and unlock when it comes to credit that I chose it. I chose to do it next week. So next Sunday, I'll do it next Monday. But today I am still going to do a money segment. I'm still going to do what to do with $1 at the beginning of the year. And we got a lot of people who need to hear this for the first time. And you got a lot of people who need a refresher. And so again, sometimes you just need a conscious interrupt to say, you know what, oh, that's what I was supposed to be doing. But so that's what we'll be doing today. But one of the things I want you guys to have fresh on your spirit, fresh in your mind, is what's your plan B, plan C, and plan D. Okay. What's your plan B, plan C, plan D? Okay. And the most important thing is the plan B. You already have a plan A. You already have your traditional business, your independent contracting deal. You already have your job, whatever it is you do with the companies that you market for or in sales for. You already have your plan A. Okay. What's your plan B? Okay. And so my personal suggestion, again, outside of what you already have a passion for, what you already know that you can monetize, would be something in the financial space, something providing financial services. Okay. Remember, we're in the, there you go, Doc. We're in the information age, guys, and people pay for information, right? And again, I always tell you guys about master classes. I always tell you guys about being able to master something that you can monetize. And I'm not even talking about just the service in itself. I'm talking about mastering the art of disseminating information that you can monetize in the form of subscriptions and in the form of events and big ticket items. Okay. And so when you look at things like that in the financial space, you have insurance, and I'll just say right now, I know some people who are making a really good, solid 5-figure and 6-figure extra income in the insurance space. Okay. And that's important. Insurance is huge. Also, if you're doing anything when it comes to trust, that's huge. And so if you're doing one, if you have, because I know some people who have services where they create trust, and they do pretty good with that as well. Um, tax specialists. Tax specialists is huge. Financial advising is huge still. Okay. Credit, and I'm not just talking about credit repair, the understanding of credit, again, is very, very crucial. People have no idea, you know, they have no full understanding of credit and how to use it, how to grow the portfolio, how to grow your score, how to get money off of it. People they really don't know. They know a little bit, and on the surface stuff that you see on the internet, the stuff that they give away for free, but the stuff that we pay for and the stuff that people are using in their master classes, those are the things that you really and truly want to create some a database around, a knowledge base around, and get some results around, so you can go ahead and monetize that as well. Okay, real estate, not just um, houses, like just not just like we talking about what's the word I'm looking for here? Residential, not just residential. Okay, we're talking about going out here and doing real estate when it comes to land, buildings, just all kind of real estate. And so for me, that's one of the licenses that I plan on going back to get myself, because that's my background. And it's not because I need real estate to do certain transactions. It's that, one, I want to get paid on my transactions, if I can get paid as a realtor. One, two, I want to be able to gain access to databases that I would normally have to wait for somebody else, to give me access to. And then whatever they're going to give me is going to be what's left, or it's going to come at a price. So, this is just some of the things like that insurance, stuff like that I feel like I want to get more into. Lending. Okay. Mortgages, lending, loans, those things are huge as well. You want to make sure these are just some of the things in the financial services arena, that people can actually do on a part-time basis. Mortgages, that's which is a part of lending, and this is the thing, guys. And obviously you got the trading space, whether it's trading options or trading pairs or stuff like that. That's huge. Obviously, that's going to always be a big deal. But that's one of those things that you're going to master it, don't play with it. Okay. And I'm talking about all these things that, I mention all these things because, these are things that are really and truly, one, know you can make a ton of money off of, but two, I know that one day we can get back together on and build something special with. Okay. A lot of the most successful people out there, they have crews, they have networks of people who they do big things together. Like if you look at some of these master classes now, the most successful ones are the ones that make the most money, and the ones that grow the fastest are the ones who have 2 and 3 and 4 resources within one master class. So, I was looking at a guy's master class the other day about real estate, but he also had a guy who did loans. He had a guy who they had like guys for different things. Let me just say that. We had somebody for loans, somebody for credit, they had somebody for real estate itself. They had all kinds of different people, and they were all eating. They all had a segment in the master class. They all sold a master class, and they all promoted for each other's master class. And so I can just say, when they do the large ticket items, when they do the big destination location type events that are not done online, again, they all eat, they all work together, they all make money together, and that's the end goal. And so you always want to not just build a book of business, but you want to build a network of people who you can actually get money with. Okay? And so when you do build that network, you want to have some familiarity with those people. You want to have a lot of trust with those people. And I can just tell you, one of the best ways to do that is by either grooming those people yourself or coming up with those people, watching them grow. Okay. There's some people I know for a fact I can trust from our network when it comes to business. Some people I can rely on, and some people I know for a fact they're down like 4 flat tires. Okay. And so I don't want to call anybody's name because I don't want to leave anybody out. But it's not a few. It's several. And that's the thing that when you're talking about grace, you're talking about gratitude, you're talking about being blessed after serving people. Again, that's why you serve. That's why you do things without a charge a lot of times. That's why you add value to people. And because again, at the end of the day, when people see your value, they see your contributions, they see the fruits of your labor, and then you have something to work with, you have a project to work with, with them on. It's an honor a lot of times, and it's something that like, hey, look, let's do it. Okay, and so it's not just about passive platform. We're talking about the end game, the big thing. The reason why we were doing the passive platforms to begin with, which is to create money to give us an exit strategy out of everything that we had going on. Okay, so those just like the plan Bs, plan Cs, plan Ds, and whenever you find your plan B, and you master that, while you're mastering that, you'll start to see ancillary things that you can add around it, that you can now start to generate income off of and create other streams of income off of it, because there are a lot of different ways to make money on everything I just told you, just as an example. In the financial spaces, doing those things, each and every last one of those things has other areas of access points when it comes to making money from. Okay, so just like give me one example for insurance, people who do insurance, let's say UILs, universal index, universal life indexes. You look at those people, you're just not just writing policies, but now you can write policies and then have, some consulting go along with it. Okay, well, I'm not only I'm going to give you a really good policy, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you now how to maximize that policy to where you can be, like the Waltons, or you can be like the Rockefellers, or you can be like the people who know how to use, these policies and make a fortune with them. So I'm gonna show you how to monetize them. I'm gonna show you how to borrow from yourself. I'm gonna show you how to become your own bank. And now all of a sudden, you start adding these other services on top of what that plan B is. Okay. You guys picking up what I'm putting down? If you like it so far, if you like the content so far, put a one in the chat, please. I want to make sure we put a one in the chat so we can see who we're talking to here. And by the way, I know I mentioned Eternal earlier. We won't have a leadership chat for Eternal. We won't have a Facebook group for Eternal. We will have, however, a Telegram group for Eternal. It's already up. And so now Angel has put the invite link in the actual chat. So feel free to go copy and paste it, while you're there. And Angel, you put it in Facebook and Telegram, right? Yes, she did. Okay, great. So with that being said, what I want to do now is I want to go ahead and transition into, what to do with a dollar. Okay, and so one of the things I would like for you guys to do is when you look at books, again, I always like to use books, when it comes to setting the foundation for things. Okay, you don't have to read the book before you put things in place, but you always read the books and listen to the books if you have more audio while you're going out here and pressing forward. But one of the books that I really like and I like to refer to people is The Easy Read by Robert Kiyosaki. And it's not Rich Dad Poor Dad. Okay? It's Increasing Your Financial IQ. Okay, Increasing Your Financial IQ by Robert Kiyosaki. And he talks about money on a very, very low level and how to set yourself up, in a really good, with a really good mental foundation, a philosophical foundation. And then one of the other books, and this is a book that you can refer to your kids, you can refer to your, family members, what have you. That's very, very important. Again, it's an easy read for everybody. And it's definitely one of those things where I would suggest everybody listen and read. If you're a reader, read it. If you're not, definitely listen to it. Okay. But let's see here. When you look at these, 6 things that I'm gonna mention, all of these things have percentages, and again, these percentages, again, they fluctuate. And I'm gonna talk about how they vary and how they move. So don't get too caught up in the percentages. Really just pay more attention to the category and why, you want to do specific things a certain way. Okay? Because when you look at the training, what to do with a dollar, again, the foundation of it is this: if you don't know what to do with $1, you won't know what to do with 10. You won't know what to do with 100. You won't know what to do with 1,000,000. Okay, that's why you have so many people who are broke, after having millions of dollars, because the money masked the problem. As long as they had money, they really didn't have a problem. At least one that they could that you could see. Okay. You take away the money, you take away their lifestyle, you take away everything because they have nothing else there, and they don't know how to go back and get the money. Okay. And so the other thing is this: when you look at the reason why I said find your plan Bs right now, is because when life happens, it's not going to wait and say, okay, hey, Jeremy, I'm gonna give you a chance, Jeremy, before I take these contracts or before I fire you off this job to go out there and learn something new because I'm about to take this lifestyle. That's not how that works. Okay. So you'd be amazed at how many people have done something for 10, 20, 30 years, and that's all they've done. And when something happens to that thing, there's nothing left. And you have people who are making 25, 30,000, $40,000 a month, and even $15,000 a month. You don't think about it. If you're in a specialized arena and you're making $15,000 a month, and there's no need for you anymore in that arena, based regardless to why they don't need you anymore, or it's hard to find a place in that space. You know how hard it is for you to find another job that pays 15 grand a month. Okay? And if you're making 15 grand a month, you're probably spending 17 to 18 grand a month. Okay. Again, you spending income, you're spending, money on financing and interest and stuff like that. So again, we want to make sure you understand the perils that come with this. All right. So the first thing, like I said, these are not any specific order. I just like to do them in this order because it's more common sense approach about it. And I always start off with you. The U account, okay, your lifestyle, basically / your lifestyle account. Okay, this account is going to be one where you might want to put 10% to 30% away every time you get paid. Okay, and this is just for you. Okay? This is for your travel. This is for your trainers if you have your gym memberships. This is for your adventurous ideas, personal investments, like some of the passive platforms and stuff we've been doing, or whatever it is. Like I have ideas that I want to do when it comes to creating board games and app games, financial app games for kids and stuff like that. That's where this money comes from. Okay, my adventurous ideas, right? Your second automobile, your boat, all the extra stuff. This comes from, your shopping, your gifts. This comes from your U account, right? And I talked about a little bit earlier how for every dollar you make, you spend $1.22, right? So some of you like, I don't have 10%, available. That's no problem. Okay? Don't worry about the 10%. Can you put $500 away? Okay. If you make $10,000 and you can't put $1,000 away, can you put $500 away for you? If you can't, can you put $250 away from you? You have to start doing something for you, because if you're not happy, if you're not rewarded, you're gonna get weary and well doing. Okay. If all your money goes to bills, at some point in time, you're gonna resent bills, and you're gonna stop paying bills. Matter of fact, again, there's a joke about bills. You don't know bills. Bill don't come by your house for Thanksgiving. Bill don't bring you a gift for Christmas, but that's the first person you pay. That's the one you respect the most. And I get you want to pay your debts and everything else, but I'm gonna just tell you, you have an out-of-body experience one day, and you just walk into your office and you just jump out yourself and say, I can't work here no more. And then you turn around, look at yourself and say, why? Because you don't pay me. What you mean you don't pay me? You pay everybody else. Next thing you know, you're looking crazy, but man, you're making sense at the same time. So you're not going to work for free at your job. So why would you work for free for yourself? Okay. So again, make sure you pay yourself something, even if it's not the 10%, have a goal to build up to a minimum of 10% over time. Okay. And then at some point in time, when you pay down the other things that I'm going to talk about, that 10% will go from 10 to 15 to 20 to 30, right? It'll grow. The percentage will actually grow. Okay. And so the other thing is this, even if it stays at 10%, the more money you make, which you'll learn from the book I just suggested that you go get, because he talks to you about budgeting for a surplus, not budgeting to save money. Poor people, broke people budget for savings. Okay. Rich and wealthy people who start off budgeting, they budget for surplus. One of the bills that you'll see right next to light bill is me bill. They pay themselves 5%, 10%, $250, $500, whatever. That's the bill. They pay themselves like they pay their bills. Okay. But the more money you make, the bigger your 10% gets. So remember, if you're making $10,000 a month, right? It's only $1,000 a month. But what happens when you're making $100,000 a month? Now, $100,000 a month becomes $10,000 a month for your 10%. It's not 30, but it's still bigger than the 10% you had in the beginning. All things being proportionate. Okay. The next thing is your cause. Your cause / charitable works, right? And that's 10%. Okay. And that's like when you look at some people call it tithing, right? Some people will just donate it to charity, okay? A foundation of some sort. Okay. You'll have some people who will donate it to scholarships, create programs, gifting projects, family support, right? Youth programs, children's games and apps. Those are the things, well, not children's games and apps, but those are the things that when I'm mentioning these games, calls, charitable things. And I think about it like this. For me, my creator is my business partner. Okay. And my creator is wanting me to give these tithes to a specific situation, not necessarily a specific person. Okay. It's not the person who handles the money, is that the actual tasks themselves are handled. Okay. So if you are indeed taking that money, that 10%, and you're donating it to a charity, a foundation, or you're doing something for kids that are needy, or you're doing something for, something that a church is supposed to do with your money for the community, but you feel like you can do it better with your money, and you can make sure it gets done and 100% of it gets done. Again, everybody does it differently. Some people say, you know what? I'll let the church do it 100% of it. Some people say, well, you know what? I'll do a fraction to the church and I'll do the other fraction on my own. And some people just say, you know what? I'm just going to do it on my own. But don't say you're going to do it and don't do it. Okay. But 10% for cause / charity. Next thing is taxes. / community initiative. Okay. / community initiative. Okay. So when it comes to taxes, guys, you have people who attack the politicians for when they run in campaigns. They run in campaigns, and what they'll do is they'll find out that somebody paid a little bit in taxes, right? And then everybody get all up in arms. Well, it's not that that person saved in taxes that made them upset. It's the fact that they don't understand how to save the same taxes, saving taxes the same way, on the same level. And that's what they're mad about. They're not mad at somebody save money. They're mad that they're not qualified to save money on their own. Right? And so they automatically attack the person with the information. Okay. So when it comes to taxes, guys, pay the minimum. First of all, get you a specialist. Don't get your cousin to do it. Unless your cousin has a CPA, certified tax attorney, or somebody who you can go back and sue if you had to. You know what I'm saying? Stop getting your cousin, sister, brother, niece, nephew, uncle to do your taxes. Guys, you don't want to skimp on this. You don't want to save. This ain't where you save the money. In the service, don't save the money in the service. Save the money in the taxes. Because if you don't pay enough trying to save money in the service, you're going to pay more than what you were supposed to pay to begin with. Okay? If you have, let's say your cousin do your taxes and they mess something up and the IRS hit you with a letter. They say, we're going to audit you. One, that's going to cost you time. It's going to cost you emotion because you're going to be afraid. You're going to be all uptight, anxious, you know what I mean? And it's going to drive your blood pressure all the way up, right? And then once they redo your taxes and they say, this is what you owe us, right? You're going to pay them that extra money, but you're also going to pay a specialist to make sure this time it's done right. So now you're going to pay the specialist full price on top of the money you're just going to pay the IRS anyway, but the other money that you paid your cousin, right? That all that's extra, all that's above and beyond, all that's money that you should not have had to actually pay. That's the time that you're taking away from your family, your job, and everything else to now sit down with an auditor. That costs too, right? So don't do, this is not where you want to skimp and be cheap. Okay, we learned this lesson the easy way. We watch people pay thousands of dollars just to set an account up and then pay thousands of dollars to make sure that everything is filed properly every year. Okay, so taxes, pay the minimum, but then when you pay the minimum, that's what you do is what the government was going to take, right? What's the difference between what I just paid and what the government was going to take? Okay. Now, when you find out what the difference is, you say, okay, so what was the government supposed to do with my money? Fix the roads, do something for the schools, whatever it is, projects around, revitalization projects or whatever it was going to do. Okay, what you want to do is now you want to take that money and you want to now start to pour back into the community and methods and fashions that they were supposed to, or bringing some type of impact back to the community, with your monetary gift, So neighborhood projects, anything that's good for the neighborhood, this is stuff that you're doing. You gave the government their minimum, right? And then you came back and you did some things for the neighborhood on your own that the government was supposed to do or should have done. But pay the taxes, okay? Let's see here. Living expenses. Living expenses / non-negotiables. 25%. Okay. You want to live off of 20 to 25% of your money. Whatever you're bringing in, if you're bringing in $10,000 a month, you should have your bills and everything all the way down to where you only pay $2,000 a month, no more than $2,000 a month to live off of. Okay. So that's one of the things you want to get to. Might be a process. It might take you a year, it might take you 2 years, it might take you 5 years, depending on how efficient and effective you are, how committed you are to it. But takes a level of discipline to make this happen. Okay. But also takes a level of creativity and you creating surplus revenue to buy things and buy things down, pay things off, and that's where you now being more savvy, more economically sound mentally, that's where that's going to kick in, and you'll start to see things move in a different direction. But keep your bad debt down and your good debt up. If you got debt, you want it to be good debt. Debt that makes you money. Okay, debt that makes you money, or money monthly debt that helps your credit, and we'll talk about that next week. Okay, but again, that 25%, again, your lifestyle, 20 to 25%, that's going to also increase. The more money you make, guess what? The bigger that 20 to 25% gets too. Okay, so when you're making $250,000 a year, $20,000 a month instead of 10, now your 25% is $5,000 a month instead of $2,500 a month. Okay, so what that means that you can buy a bigger house, or you can buy a nicer house, or you can downsize and upgrade at the same time. You can get rid of, you can empty nest, kick the kids out, everybody in college, And now you got your nice little suite in the high rise above the water on the beach. Okay. Dr. Arlene is like, yes. Yes. Jeremy's like, yeah, I want to get out of St. Louis, at least for the summers or winters. I want to change the weather. Yes. All right. So again, medical insurance, life insurance, automobile insurance, all your bills, including your mortgages, loans, credit cards, phone bills, all that stuff comes out of this, out of the living experiences, out of the living expenses. Okay. So anything household and family responsibility wise, that's coming out of here. The first car comes out of here. The first house comes out of here. Okay. The second car comes out of your account. Okay. The second house comes out of the next one, which is, well, it comes out of your first one, the your account as well. That's an investment. That's one of your something in your personal portfolio. Okay. So personal portfolio, again, anything you're investing in, a new house, a beach house, an Airbnb or something like that, all of that's coming out. The second house, Airbnb, rent a house, all of that stuff, apartment complex, all that stuff coming out of your account. That's why that one, it'll get up to 30%, and you'll always want to make more money to where that 30% is bigger and bigger and bigger. So you'll have more and more money to play with and invest with. Personal investments. All right. So then you have, after living experiences, let's see, we have the business. This is where you reinvest. Okay. That's 10 to 15%. Remember, your money that comes from your business is not your money. It's your business's money. Okay, so it doesn't matter whether you're in a network marketing company or if you're in a traditional business or you have a practice. You want to have 10 to 15% go back into your business, go back into your practice, go back and reinvest that into, like at McDonald's, they use buns every day. Guess what they buy every day? The buns. They sell that cheap meat every day. And guess what they buy every day? That cheap meat. They also buy toys because they go into Happy Meals and they get those Happy Meal toys out every day. They reinvest in their business every day. Okay. And you want to do the same exact thing, right? You want to reinvest in your business. Okay. So 10 to 15% goes back into the, reinvestment in your business. Like I have an actual high level assistant on me. You guys know her. That's where the reinvestment, that's part of our business. Okay. Homie is paid out of that, right? Anything, marketing, advertising, right? Consulting that you use for your business, all of that comes from here. Okay. Always reinvest back in your business, but always make sure you have money set aside. And guess what? If you need different accounts, guys, so you won't get confused, and you can track it better, do that. Okay. It's okay. Do that. And keep in mind those accounts, if you do open up different accounts, in some situations, you want them with different banks because you want to create different relationships with different banks. Because at some point in time, you want to be able to go to all those banks at the same exact time and call in, a loan or call in a favor, right? And so you want those relationships. So if you do it, you're gonna open up different accounts. Think about different banks that actually have the services that you desire. Like for me, I'm going to, I'm not saying I won't do a bank because I do have banks that I deal with that don't have CDs that I can borrow against, but all the banks that I actually deal with going forward, and the last two banks I open up accounts with, they all have CDs that I can borrow against, okay, and that actually report to credit bureaus once I borrow from them. So I have purposes, for those bank accounts. Okay. And so that's something that you can actually use. Because if you got, let's just say you have, to reinvest, you got a reinvestment account in a different bank and you're putting in 15% per month and you built up, let's just say 10 grand in that account, and that they actually have CDs. So now you can go and take that $10,000, buy a CD, borrow against it, put the money in the bank account, and then let them just take the money out every month like clockwork at a minimal, right? And then if you need the money, you just take it out the account and pay the account back out, right? Because at some point in time, you'll pay that CD back off, that loan off, and whether you do it for the full term or pay it off early, you're still going to pay it back anyway. You're still going to buy those resources and tools anyway. You may as well, repurpose that money to help you in other areas, of your financial portfolio. Okay. But don't kill your seed money. Okay. Don't rob yourself. Don't rob your business of your seed money. Okay. Purpose before pleasure. Okay. Purpose before pleasure. 1 second here. Okay. And the last thing is your savings account. Okay. Savings accounts, guys, or you can call them the defense funds. I like defense funds. Those savings accounts, defense funds, that's 10%. And those are reserve funds for a case of emergencies, medical, legal, natural disasters, cash flow shortage, but you want to make sure that you don't touch this money and you continue to build on this money and you just maintain your disciplines, right? And build up, even if you don't have 10%, give yourself a fixed amount. Put $250 in there. I have one of my savings accounts. I've had it open for years. I've had $500 transferred from that account for the last probably 16. I take that back. Past 13 years. And I've went in there in case of emergencies. And I'm glad I had that money available in certain situations because I really needed it. Okay. Everybody falls on tough times, hard times, guys. And it doesn't make you, unwise. It makes you human. And just remember, when you have stocks, stocks is just like life. If you pick the best stock, which means that you're the best person, right? And you're really good at what you do, there are some things that happen out of your control. Okay. Just like in the market, there's certain things that happen. Like for those who trade, you trying to figure out why Bitcoin went down after it went up 6%. You trying to figure out why it went down 7%. And then why it went down another 1% the day after that, right? But we know Bitcoin's the future. We know they got these ETFs and all this other stuff coming. We know they got the bull running. So why is it going down? It's not. Are you prepared for it to go down and hang in there until it goes back up? Okay. So remember, it's not going to always go straight up. It's going to go up. It's going to have a little dip. It's going to go up again. It's going to have a correction point after it drops, and it's going to go back up. And so for you, it's the same thing with life. Life happens. Jobs go away, companies go away, industries evolve, and things change where you may have to start pulling funds, from your savings, or funds that you had allocated for something else. But again, savings, be very, very disciplined with it, and only, like I said, treat it as, that little glass that says break in case of emergencies. Only use it in case of emergencies. Okay. So those are the things, guys. Those are, the 6 categories of, 7 categories rather, of what to do with $1. And those are the things you want to make sure you continue to grow on that, continue to understand that, continue to increase the level of financial wisdom that you have based on what you apply after you learn it. But I can definitely tell you that for those of you who are in these different spaces, financial service spaces and stuff like that, as you move into them or as you get stronger in them, let us know about them, because again, we may have some things that we can work on together, as far as projects, or as far as the earnings automation ecosystem that we're going to be building out. So, we do want to make sure that we are building something special, with people who are special to us. So with that being said, guys, I'll turn you guys back over to your evenings, and again, we'll keep you guys updated on anything and everything we come across information wise. But other than that, continue to, for those of you who are part of the program, when it comes to the Grant Cardone program, make sure you're in those recordings every day if you can't listen to them live, and make sure you continue to bring some new heat, new energy, and different takeaways to the calls on Saturday. Because I can tell you, it's a lot of people right now who are trying to see if the program is for them or they just can't afford the program that you guys really do bless. So again, you getting better is a blessing for somebody. Okay. And so hold on one second. I think I saw a question pop up. Give me 1 minute. One moment. Right? Oh, my thoughts on credit unions. I mean, banks are banks. And credit unions have their strengths and they have their weaknesses. Again, it's when you look at the people who are in the banks, though, once you figure out what the banks have to offer, it's the relationships that you want to build, with people that are actually in the banks. I remember with a brand new bank, with the very last bank that I opened up an account with, is not a credit union, but it's a very small. Um, it's almost like a boutique bank, but they have about 5 here in Houston. That's it, 4 or 5. And well, I told the guy, the banker, this is what I want. This is what I want to do. This is what I'm trying to establish. And boom, he said, okay, come on in. It's the furthest bank away from me. The closest branch they have in me is about 55 minutes away from my house. Okay. And so it's not even in my city. It's in a whole entirely different city on the outskirts, of Houston. But one day I needed to sign some documents for a loan that he was helping me get. And I just happened to be at a celebration for lunch with one of our people. And he says, don't worry about it. I'll bring you the paperwork because it had to be signed. And so he came all the way. He came 45 minutes almost. But yeah, he came 45 minutes because it was 45 minutes from the bank to where I was at, to the restaurant we were at. I signed the docs right there in his car, and he took him right back to the bank and filed them. That's a relationship. Just met this man, but again, the impact that I had on him in my conversation and the picture that I painted, for him, letting him know what type of business I want to bring to his bank and what type of business I want to do with him and his bank, put him in a position where he fought for my business that day. It was a Friday, and the bank was closing in 3 hours, and I wasn't going to be there. I wasn't going to make it. But he came to me, stuff that you see in the movies. I was like, man, that's pretty cool. Right. And so, yeah, but it's, again, just find out what the credit unions have to offer. And also, depending on what you're trying to do with the bank, Carla, if you go on YouTube or Google, even Google, you can say like, this is what I want to do. What's the difference? What is best, a credit union or a bank? And just start fishing around, with questions. And then you can go to YouTube and you can probably put, credit union versus bank, which is better, in YouTube, and you'd be amazed at how many videos just pop up and how much new information and new intel that you have that you find that you may not even been looking for, that you probably weren't even aware of. But like I said, they all have their strengths, they all have their weaknesses. But you just got to figure out which ones, best for you. But I'm always looking for banks that I can have relationships with. I like to go in and meet the banker and sit down with the banker and have a conversation with the banker and see if they feeling me or not. I want to see, if you really like my jokes. I want to see, if you really like my vision. You know what I mean? I want to see if you really like me. And I want to see if you're gonna fight with me, fight for me or fight with me. You know what I mean? Because I can close down an account. If I feel like you're a fake and a fraud, I'll go the first time I need you to do something, you're not there to do it for me, and I know for a fact there's something that you should have did and could have did, oh, I'm out of there. Me and my money. And the one thing a banker don't like you to do is take money out of their bank accounts because that's money that they can't use anymore. Okay. So remember, you always have the power when you go into the bank. You have the power, they don't, because you have your money, they don't. Right? So they know. We walk in the banks we've been with forever. We walk in the bank, Mr. Bean, Mrs. Bean. I love it. I love it. So, yeah, make your bankers your best friend because them the ones that would push stuff through. Those things, those are the ones that make things happen. Those are the ones that are look over, look or turn a cheek and overlook something on purpose just so you can actually get what you need. But that don't happen if you don't have a long-standing relationship with them or if you're not doing good business with them. Yeah. All right. Any other questions on money before we get out to here? Let's see here. Okay. All right, guys. No more questions. There's no more questions up here. So let's go ahead and close this thing down. But again, thank you, Carly, for hosting. And thank you, Lashanique, Carly, and Laura Johnson for presenting. And I appreciate you, Angel, for again standing in the gap. You and I know so Dr. Arlene being there, doing her thing as well. And appreciate y'all, for always showing up and because they're showing up for y'all, they're not showing up for me. You know what I'm saying? I might come in, crack a joke, say hi, make everybody smile a little bit, but man, y'all bring all the heat, y'all bring all the value, and y'all make sure people get fed when they show up. So y'all keep on doing what y'all do. All right. So be on the lookout for information, guys. We'll catch up soon and go enjoy your evening. Good night for now.